All right, y'all. So boom. So the Clippers are officially trading Russell Westbrook. They traded him to the Jazz for a second-round pick swap and cash. And Chris Dunn. It was a sign and trade, basically. It was, well, not basically. It was a sign and trade for Russell Westbrook to go to the Jazz. He's expected to agree on a contract buyout with the Jazz. I don't believe that's happened yet, so I don't believe he's officially on the Nuggets. But he's expected to agree on to agree to a buyout with the Jazz so he can join the Denver Nuggets, which, good for him, on a team that's going to contend, because I don't know what y'all be thinking, but I don't think the Clippers are going to contend. I think the Clippers are one of those teams that have one of the most confusing directions in basketball right now. But we need to talk about this mostly for the Nuggets, because we know what the Clippers are. I think all of us pretty much agree that the Paul George Kawhi era was a failure. I think we all agree that Westbrook didn't play great for the Clippers last year, especially in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I think we all know the Clippers they don't have any of their picks till 2030. I think we all realize that the Clippers' future is very bleak for the next at least half a decade. So let's talk about this for the Nuggets. Now, if you don't remember, I'll enlighten you. Last year, after winning a championship, Bruce Brown left the Nuggets. Big loss. We saw that last year. And then this year, after this last season that just happened, they also lost KCP, who went to the Magic. So you just lost your two of your three best defensive player and your two best defensive guards guards. Yeah, I would include Bruce Brown in their guard. He plays the five. He plays the three sometimes, even though he's a small guy. He's like 6'4", but we understand what he does, what his role was on that team. If you watched basketball that year, if you even watched the finals, you saw what his role was on that team. And I've seen people saying Russell Westbrook could fit into that Bruce Brown mold for the Nuggets. To those people, what I would say is, I don't know if you're slightly delusional, if you don't know basketball, or if you just have super wishful thinking. Because let me tell you right now, Russell Westbrook last year played in 68 games. We know Russell Westbrook's not going to miss a whole bunch of games. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. The shooting splits, though. That's where we really get to talk. Remember, he was coming off the bench, so 11, 5, and 5, really not bad. But he was coming off the bench, considering the fact he was coming off the bench. His shooting splits, though, 45, 27, 69. 45, 27, 69. Those were his shooting splits last year. So he shot 45% from the field, not bad. 27% from three, awful, and 69% from free throw, awful. The 3-point percentage and the free throw percentage are both very, 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 very much lower than what Russell Westbrook's career averages are in terms of, that efficiency throughout his career. So you want me to believe, whoever's the people are saying he can fit into that Bruce Brown mode, you want me to believe this man is not only going to be your best player off the bench, which he very well could be, but you want me to believe that he's not only going to be your energizer and spark plug off the bench, which again he very well could be, but you think he's going to be the best defender off the bench and a top 3 defender on the team? When he doesn't add a lot offensively, considering the fact he doesn't stretch the floor at all and he can't hit a free throw to save his life, so the fact that you can hacker Westbrook if you want to, you want me to believe he's going to bring you guys back into that, we can win a championship again. Buddy, if I'm the Nuggets, I'm looking at this team that they have right now, and I'm thinking this is the worst we've been in 2 years. This is the worst we've been since 2023. If you want to include the 2023 season and then last season, this is the worst team they've had. If you ask me, I think there's at minimum 2 teams just off the top of my head in the Western Conference that are better than the Nuggets. 3, because I'm forgetting about the Timberwolves. 3 teams at minimum off the top of my head in the West that are better than the Nuggets are right now. And I understand Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. I get all of that. And this is by no means hate towards Russell Westbrook. Don't get it wrong. I think Russell Westbrook, had their team stayed the same as it was last year, Russell Westbrook would be a very good addition. He's a guy you know is going to hustle. He's a guy that's going to come off the bench, and you know he's going to care about winning basketball. But he's also a guy that you know is going to airball some shots. He's a guy you know isn't going to stretch the floor. He's a guy you know ain't going to hit a free throw. He's a guy you know isn't a great defender. And he's also a guy that you know is, 35 years old? About to be 36, and you want me to believe he's gonna somehow make this team that much better to where they're again one of the top teams in the West? I'm talking about top 2, because the West is really good. And again, the only reason they're as high as they are is because the duo of Jokic and Murray is still one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. But I'm not about to be one of those people that'll sit here and tell you that, oh, just because they got Russell Westbrook, they're back to automatic championship contention. I think whenever you have the best player in the world, there is always a case for you to be a championship contender. But we're not about to sit here and pretend like they're the favorites of the West anymore, like they were entering last year and for the majority of last year. I would take the Thunder, I would take the Mavs, I would take the Timberwolves all as more favorites to come out of the West before I would take the Nuggets. So y'all Nuggets fans are so delusional that you think, you know what, if he can fit into that Bruce Brown mold, we're gonna win a championship again this year. The West got better. The East got better. You got worse. You had one of the worst off seasons of any team, and it's still not even official yet that he's on the Nuggets. But let's just say I'm assuming he will be. You had arguably a bottom 5 offseason of the league, just off the top of my head. Especially because, and most of that is not. It's not that you didn't really add anyone besides Russ. Most of that is the fact that you lost KCP. Who's sliding into that starting spot now? You're not about to start Westbrook and Jamal Murray, because the defense in that backcourt would be abysmal. You're not going to do that. So what are you going to do? You're going to start Christian Brown? You ain't going to start Peyton Watson, because then who's going to move up to the 2? You're going to move MPJ up to the 2? I don't like that. So what are you going to do? You're going to start. I'm assuming you're just going to start Christian Brown. But let's look at let's look at the Nuggets depth chart right now. I'm going to look it up right now. Let's go Denver Nuggets depth chart. Because I'm genuinely like, if I'm a Nuggets fan right now, I'm genuinely worried about going into next season. So, according to ESPN, the Denver Nuggets depth chart, it'll be projected on the screen for y'all. Jamal Murray starting point guard, Christian Brown starting 2, Michael Porter Jr. starting 3, Aaron Gordon starting 4, Nikola Jokic starting 5. I'm not mad at that starting lineup at all. At all. But off the bench, let's say they get Russell Westbrook. You get Westbrook at the 1, Julian Strawther at the 2, Hunter Tyson at the 3, Peyton Watson at the 4, Dario Saric at the 5. That's a championship team to y'all? Now, I get it. In the playoffs, you're going to be down to, an 8-man rotation, so you'll have Peyton Watson, Russell Westbrook, and then fill in an 8th guy coming off the bench, right? I'm a big fan of Jalen Pickett. He went to Penn State. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to this. Now, sure, you could have Zeke Naji as one of those guys coming off the bench. I like Zeke Naji. I like DeAndre Jordan. Cool. Not mad. But I'm worried about you're not going to have the depth to compete with the guys like OKC, who just got better, especially at that center position now that they added a bruiser like Isaiah Hartenstein. They got better defensively now that they added Alex Caruso. We expect SGA and especially J-Dub and especially Chet to get even better this year. If you're the Timberwolves, you just got 2 guards in Terrence Shannon Jr. and Rob Dillingham. That helps a lot. That can allow Anthony Edwards to play more off ball, which I think he's better at. And that team didn't get any worse. Like, they're not losing anybody. They might trade Cat or something, which if I was them, I would do. But, like, even then, like, that's not really going to make them too much worse, especially because we know Naz Reid can come in and fill that position. You look at the Mavericks, they just got better. I mean, sure, they lost Derrick Jones Jr., and I mean, sure, we're wondering who are Clay, Luka, and Kyrie going to guard. Sure, that's very, very valid concerns, but they got better. They got better on the bench. They got Klay Thompson, so they got more outside shooting, especially on that wing position, which they needed. We expect Derek Lively to get better. So how can you as a Nuggets fan convince yourself that, oh, just because we're going to get Russell Westbrook, which isn't even confirmed yet, but let's just say you do, just because we're going to get Russell Westbrook, we're automatically back into the top 2 contention in the West? No, you're not. No, you're not. Kings got better. I don't think the Kings are better than you, but I'm just saying, like, the West got better. Lakers didn't do nothing. Clippers got worse. Suns barely did anything. Warriors got worse. Sure, Rockets are going to get better. Spurs are going to be a little better. I don't think these teams are going to be better than the Nuggets. I'm just saying the West is still going to be a very, very difficult conference, and I think the top end of the West got better. Do I think the West is going to be – I don't think there's as many teams in the West that have as much championship contention anymore, because I do think those teams – a lot of teams in the West had bad off seasons, like the Lakers, the Warriors. Like, those teams did have bad off seasons, if you ask me. The Nuggets. But, like, the top 3 teams in the West right now, the Nuggets aren't one of them, if you ask me. I think if you ask most fans that have kept up with the offseason, they would say the Nuggets aren't one of them. So, like, I like the fact that you're getting Westbrook because you needed to do something. You needed to try to find some type of replacement. But, I'm not with you if you want to say that just automatically puts them back in the top 2, top 3 contention in the West. I'm not with you there, especially when they didn't make it out of the second round last year. It's not like they were just in the finals last year. They lost in 7 to Minnesota last year in round 2 when nobody was expecting that. Minnesota got even better. Anthony Edwards is going to get even better. The Thunder with SGA, who's a top 5 player in the league, got even better. He's going to continue to get even better. If I'm the Nuggets, thank God we got that one championship because the window isn't looking great. I mean, you still have those 4 guys of Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, but Michael Porter Jr. has been in some trade talks with that contract he's got. He's been in some trade talks. So I don't know, man. It's like, if you're one of those people that are saying, oh, if he can fit into the Bruce Brown mold, sure, in an ideal world, Russell Westbrook fits into a Bruce Brown mold for the Nuggets. And even then, let's say in that ideal world that happens, even then, still 4th best team in the West to me. This isn't me hating on Westbrook or the Nuggets. This is me being realistic. This is me telling you Nuggets fans who I've been seeing on Twitter and on TikTok comments with Russell Westbrook edits and everything like that saying, oh, if he can do blah, blah, blah. Emphasis on the F, first of all, and then let's say even if he does, that's not enough. Christian Brown, he's a good defender and everything like that, but he isn't going to give you the offensive production, especially from the 3-point volume that KCP is. I don't think he has the basketball IQ that KCP does. I don't think he's as good of a defender as KCP is. Sure, he's a really good young player, and he might even get better this year, but... And I'm not even saying the Nuggets got a ton worse. I'm not even saying it's like the Nuggets have absolutely no chance to make it to the Western Conference Finals or make it out of the West. They very well could. I'm just saying it's no longer... It's no longer they're the favorites. It's no longer like, hey, if you want to run through the West, you got to get through Denver. Sure, there'll be a challenge, but it's not like to get through the West, you got to get through them and nobody else but them anymore. It's not that no more. That's all I'm saying. Hey, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Boy, we gonna have one heck of a good season next year in the NBA. But yeah, boy.